it up a little higher. Sometimes.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome to the Big Lads Podcast Part 2. So excited.
Hello.
We got a great show.
Oh, do we have graphic?
Today. So right now we got Tom Christie and Ollie Macklem on the podcast. We originally had Ben and Simon, but we had to throw out the old formula. It wasn't working. So clearly we got some fresh blood in the room. So guys, say hi.
What's going on?
The Satellite Ots, though, coming to you live from Ottawa.
Pressure's on us now to be the upgrades.
Yeah, I'm totally pumped though, because we were talking about getting a lot of new blood, because if it was the same three guys kind of week over week, I think it would get kind of stale. So I'm glad that we got the Ottawa boys, and I'm especially glad Tom's on the podcast, because you can give us the scoop of what's going on in Ottawa. Me and Ollie can give you the scoop of what's going on in TO, and then we can keep, talking to each other and everyone connected about what's going on.
I did sense a bit of a Toronto bias in the last pod.
Yeah, it felt that way.
I'd also like it to be noted that I was the first listen and first like of the inaugural Big Lads podcast, so I am somewhat of a special celebrity guest.
That's true.
Yeah, I like that to be recorded, in fact.
Yeah, and then we got Ollie, and Ollie is a seasoned vet on talking shit to his friends, and also
I just take great pride in it. That's all.
Educated sportsman.
He's the Lance Stevenson of the Big Lads.
Why, thank you.
Yeah,
always
ready to complain and argue.
Sean Avery, that's who he is.
There's a new nickname for Lance Stevenson. There was the Born Ready, the 8th grader. There's something good. We gotta look this up.
That is terrible podcasting. You just said there's a good nickname and you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I'll find it for you.
A good start here with the new
group.
group.
If this was Sportsnet, they would cut your highlight reel pack right now. Okay.
What?
So first of all, I'm just gonna do the guidelines for the pilot cast. This helped last time, just figuring everything out. So first of all, let's keep it light and high energy. That's guideline number 1. Number 2, let's not shout over each other, because otherwise the audio sucks and you can't hear anyone. Number 3 is keep in mind that everything is public. This is going to my YouTube channel, so if you don't want your girlfriend, your parents, Janica, anyone to find out about this, let's not put it out there. And I added a number 4, because last time I noticed that I said basically a whole lot. So in order to try to keep down people's annoying tendencies, we're gonna tally each other's annoying tendencies while they're talking, and then at the end, depending on how many times they do their annoying tendency, we're gonna take a few drinks.
All right, perfect.
So it'll be a fun little drinking game throughout the entire pod.
I'll be drinking at my own pace also, so should be interesting when we get towards the end of this beauty.
Yeah, I don't know what your annoying tendency is. I'm gonna go figure them out as we go along, but I'll make an announcement throughout the pod.
Okay.
Okay, so let's jump into it. So first on the agenda, I have breaking news, and Ollie, you have a new job.
Ollie,
you are
congratulations!
now doing the voiceover for Sportsnet highlights, and that's amazing. Congratulations,
friend. Well deserved. You worked hard. You deserve it.
It was definitely very exciting news to get. I've been trying to get this position for at least over a year now. Submitted a demo to the Score, which got rejected, and that was, about 4 months before the sale happened to Rogers. So then, you're dealing with new management. You're like, I got to impress like a whole new set of people. So I wasn't sure if I was.
Sorry, what's that?
Ever going to get this position, and then.
Sorry, Ollie, you got something weird going on with your.
Oh, can you not hear me?
We're losing him. Oh, you're back.
You have a good connection in your room?
Back or no? What's that?
You're in and out. What do you have, lead paint in there or something?
Ollie, creak open the door so you can get a signal.
Yeah.
This Ollie guy is the worst.
How about that?
Back on the move.
Yeah, that's better.
Can you hear us, Ollie?
Success? No, I can't hear
Yeah.
This is-
you.
Sit by the door so you can get a good signal. Okay, Tom, you're gonna have to carry this while Ollie's figuring his shit out. So
Okay, good. I know. I can pipe in here.
No. I'm gonna change the agenda. We're gonna go to the Avicii concert last weekend.
Oh, perfect. We don't even need Ollie for this one because
You and I are the stars of this story, so we're gonna leave Ollie out in the cold, and we're gonna continue this podcast.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so we had a nice weekend last weekend. So it started off. Taylor and Whitney's party was at the ROM, which was pretty fun, and then we headed to the Dog and Bear, and that's where you and Leah popped into the scene. So
Popped in for a couple of.
get your recap of the night. How'd you feel it went?
Well, as you know, and we've discussed before, I absolutely love Toronto, especially when we hit those eccentric hipster bars Ben always drags us to. With the DJs whose whole goal of playing music seems to be to play a song that you haven't heard before, and then to look down their nose at you because you don't know what they're playing, which I think is missing the point of DJing altogether. But to his credit, after a miserable first couple hours, either we got a lot more drunk or he really picked up his game because we really tore up the dance floor for the last 45 minutes. So...
You know what I found it was like? It was like he was filling up a bath with like hot water and then just put cold water on it. And then he was just like going back and forth with songs that you loved and then songs you didn't.
Jesus. He'd give us one song and we'd go nuts, and then he'd play some weird, like, it sounded like the soundtrack from Drive with Ryan Gosling, like weird electronic and you didn't know words. Like, how do I dance to this? It feels very strange to me.
Okay, and then let's talk about the rest of the weekend. So Saturday we had a nice, lovely day in Kensington Market.
That was
Leah,
again very hipster.
Yeah, Leah went shopping and bought like 8 different pairs of sunglasses.
Loaded up.
And then you obsessed over the Fancy Frank's hot dog. And then we went
Which I never got.
Sorry?
Which I never got, unfortunately.
You never got it? I was going to ask you.
It was a terrible weekend food-wise. So this is for the millions of Big Lads podcast listeners out there. Do we have a name, by the way? Is it the Not So Round Table? Did we get sued for that?
So the Not So Round Table, which Ben thought was like a great name, is actually the name of a different podcast.
Well, that's classic Ben.
So
Ben Resnick, friend of the show.
Ben
Resnick.
Ex-member of the show. He's no longer associated.
Former employee, Ben Resnick.
Ben Resnick has always been known for regurgitating popular opinion or opinion of one or two sports writers who he reads / listens to. So,
are you talking about the Interior Grantland channel?
Yeah, the fact that he was regurgitating a podcast title does not surprise me.
Yeah,
he does have a history of reposting links in the group. About 10 minutes after someone's posted a story, he'll repost it with, "Hey guys, did you check this out?" So there's a history here.
Also known for recycling ladies that the other Big Lads have been with previously.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's go down the list of recycled ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the top 3. Give me the top 3.
The only one that I don't know. The only one that I think we can talk about, who I know we're safe, is not. I mean, again, this is another shout out to the millions and millions of listeners.
I'll throw one out there. Jess Jan.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she was. Faith was a big one. Faith was the one when he accidentally texted Brooke a text to Faith asking to hang out, and that's because it was accidental.
Is there any other?
All right. That's enough. Back to current events. Where were we? Oh, Fancy Frank's. Okay, I'll get this done real quick. So we wanted to go to Kaplansky's. I'm a huge fan of diners, drive-ins, and dives. Big shout out to Guy Fieri. I know you're listening. I wanted to go there. It was featured on the show. We got there. It was flooded. We couldn't go in. Fancy Frank's was next door. But a good friend of ours, friend of the show, Taylor McQuaid, was recently sick after eating a hot dog. So he had some sort of post-traumatic stress disorder. So we couldn't go into Fancy Frank's. So we ended up eating at yet another hipster Kensington-style diner called...
It was like an old Jewish...
Everything in Kensington is hipster, too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
No, we ate at, what was the place called? Old Times Cafe, which was...
3 times.
It's a Jewish... It's like a Jewish deli. Like, there's nothing hipster about it.
But it also served Lebanese food, which I thought was strange. Anywho.
No, that's Middle Eastern. That's, you know, it's the
I
same.
suppose. Yeah, they're all over there somewhere.
Yeah, they're all somewhere in the Middle East. Okay,
No.
So let's talk about the concert. So I think the highlight for me was Shirts Off.
The Shirts Off was fantastic.
Hold on a sec. If we're going to call out Ben for a second, how can we avoid not calling out Simon, the no-show of the weekend,
Oh,
who
yeah.
again, on his birthday, Thursday, no-showed when I tried to go out for drinks to buy him fucking rounds at Burger Bar.
Look,
Double no-show here.
this story to me is as tired as talking about LeBron's receding hairline. Simon is
Oh,
a
I think
flake
it's still
though.
Ron Small Peen.
LeBron is bald and not very well endowed. These are not things we need to dive into over and over and over again. It's gotten to the point where if Simon actually does show up, we're shocked. So it's not your fact that you're saying, oh, Simon didn't make it. I'm like, okay, well, that was par for the course. If he had shown up...
What happened with this weekend for Simon's B-Day? Did he show up to his own birthday?
No, he's a no-show on Thursday because he said he wanted to go out on Friday as well.
Well, were you in Ottawa?
He may have showed up Friday. We have not proven. That was not proven one way or the other. He may very well have gone to Brooks' house. I'm not sure I was.
You're not sure if that's just some other Gap model that was there, or what?
Yeah, they're all there. They all look the same. Those Gap models to me. You know?
They're all mixed and really well put together.
Actually, this is a topical story. We threw a birthday party for Simon. I think it was 2 years ago when Jason Cherney, friend of the show, shout out, and Brooke and I lived together. We had a party for Simon. He was coming into town. It was his birthday. It would have been this weekend. So we had a bunch of people over. We fired up the barbecue around 7:30. We got a bunch of booze, a bunch of food. We had a bunch of people over. Simon shows up at 12:45 in the morning, and we've already been partying for 3-4 hours to his own birthday. People came over who didn't know him. They're like, "Hey, where's the birthday boy?" Like, I don't know. We'll be here soon. But he rolled in. He got classically drunk in about half an hour and ended up peeing and throwing up simultaneously to conclude the evening, as he is known to do. So that's
the old 42, right? If the Magic Johnson is the 32, which is J-O-ing and shitting at the same time, the 42 is puking and shitting at the same time.
Just a sidebar, what are we doing for swearing and toilet humor? I mean, is this going to go on iTunes? Like,
okay, so I'll lay it out. It's more like we don't want, like, you know, employers, whatever, seeing this. It could get, you know, because probably more for me because it's under my YouTube channel. If someone searches Eric Glasscock, they can see all this. So just think like anything you say could be bad for me, but not so much for you.
Okay, fair enough.
I like it.
Moving forward.
So,
all right, what's next on the agenda?
You know what? Let's get back to the Avicii weekend. I think so. We're at the concert. Tom, you give the rundown on how young everyone was, because that was like the weird thing to me. We went to like an all ages show.
That's probably our last. That's probably our last all ages show. I would think. I mean, to all the listeners out there, we love these EDM shows. We're big fans. We try to get to them as often as we can. But lately, they've been doing them as an all ages type event to make more money. But what's happening is a bunch of like 11 to like 15-year-old kids are taking off all their clothes, making themselves almost like to death, and hammering in there. And it's incredibly uncomfortable for those of us who are of the legal age. The first thing we saw when we walked in the door of the Rogers Center was probably 5 girls who couldn't have been older than 14 in high-waisted shorts and bras. I'm not sure if you've seen these new high-waisted shorts, but all they've done is lift the short up, so the button now covers the belly button, and the bottom half of the short hasn't been made any longer in proportion. It just comes way up, so the ass cheeks hang out. So
The ass cheeks are very prevalent at these shows. Like,
hang right out, and I'm a huge fan of ass
ass cheeks and midstractions.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the other thing we saw was a guy on a golf cart being taken out by a medic who was strapped into the back of the cart face down. Like, he looked like he was dead.
Yo, there is something that I didn't put together, but there was like an ambulance bus outside. It was essentially, they can transport like 20 people in this ambulance. And it's just because all the little kiddies like do drugs or get, you know, drunk out of their mind. And, this thing was like filled before the show started.
They took like 4 of those buses to the hospital, and the Rogers Center lost its liquor license. It can no longer hold licensed events because so many kids got just blackout and whatever else before the show even started, and I think 30 of them ended up being hospitalized.
Oh, way more than that. I heard it was like around 80 or something.
Yeah, anyways, crazy night, great show. Shout out to Avicii, I know he's listening. I put on another great show, buddy, and we'll see you at the next one. Just let's do it in a club next time. So if I see a naked girl or she has to hop up on my shoulders, I'm not worried about going to prison.
Yeah, so some girl did that to me, and I said no immediately.
Get the
I go to your shoulders? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom, I realize your annoying thing. It's saying the word shout out. So anytime you do that, you have to take a drink.
Oh my God, I'm turning into Jalen Rose, my most hated podcaster in the world. Says that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
Okay.
Jalen does it in a name-dropping kind of sense. This is a little different.
Yo, shout my guy, D Rose.
Everyone in the NBA is Jalen's guy.
Jalen also shouts out anyone that tweets him.
Yeah.
Anyone that has a Twitter handle has gotten a shout out on the Jalen Rose report.
We should get a Not So Roundtable Twitter account.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
We're
once we
tweeting
find
out the pod.
Yeah, like that's pretty much our WhatsApp group, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this weekend in Ottawa, did anything happen? Because Ben and Simon were both in town. Any cool stories or anything?
Nothing that I heard of. I was stuck at work. I know Simon and Brooke are at a wedding today, so I hope they're having a good time. Sure they will. Not sure what happened last night again. It was the race weekend here in Ottawa, so we had 100,000 people in town running the marathon and the 5K and the 10K. So we, those of us who work downtown, are just we were a little buried. So fortunately, I have nothing exciting to report.
Okay. Okay. I almost fell asleep. Okay, so let's get to the meat. Okay, so this is my first fun game. So Ada is recently engaged.
Whoa!
I just saw this through the group. I assumed he's engaged. I don't even know if this is true. Do we have any information? Like, who's this girl or who's his fiance?
I know Katie. Katie and Ada lived in Ottawa for quite some time, and we used to go out and party together and hang out, and she's a great girl. They stuck it out. He went down to the Caribbean for med school. They stuck it out. I mean, the guy is an absolute beaut. She's doing great for herself. So anyways, I'm so happy for them.
So it is Katie. This is the girl?
It's Katie, yes. Okay. I hope.
Okay. So,
apologies to the new lady, but as far as I know, Katie.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't get Ada News isn't like so frequent in the WhatsApp group. So he's a bit on the outside of my radar. Okay.
He was an underdog in the marriage.
This brings me to my next segment. I have the big lads marriage list. So far, Bruno and Ada are engaged or married in the group. I thought it'd be fun to try to figure out who would be the next 3 through 15. So we got a few people here. And yeah, I just wanted to see if I did my own ranking. I'm going to see if that falls in line with your two rankings or whether we should move people up or down this list, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. What should I do? Should I do 15 up or should I do 3?
No, you got to go one down since those are already the married guys, Bruno and Ada.
Yeah, but I'm thinking what's funnier.
I do prefer.
Yeah.
What's funnier? Who's
like a top 100 player.
Who's more dateable?
The intrigue is at the bottom of the list. We all know the names at the top.
You don't care. We want to know who's number 15 and last. That's the most exciting.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, so number 3, brought to you by Eric Plaskotch.
Drum roll.
I got Brooke Simpson. This is number.
Oh, recent homeowner. Also, he let me know that 2 days ago he shaved his pubes.
That makes him more eligible for
That
sure.
makes him a very, very, very strong candidate, in my opinion. He also ran
that
the.
means shaving your pubes is a sign you're going back to singlehood, potentially. I mean, when you're in a long relationship, you let yourself slide, right? I would take that as a signal, a red flag, potentially, on the number 3 spot.
Okay,
Well,
that's good work.
Well, let's go through the stats of Brooke. So he's been with his girlfriend. It's Anna, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. Also known as Banana.
Anna Banana. Okay, so how long have they been dating? This feels like 5 years.
Good
they
thing it's not black, Tom, or else that would be very racist.
They started dating when Brooke and I were living together right around the start. So that's got to be 5 years now, 4 years. 4 years. I would say 4 years on the low end, 5 years on the high end. And I'd say Brooks probably had his pubes shaved for about 80% of that time. So
Okay, so I think that he's a solid number 3 choice.
yeah.
Okay, so let's go down the list, and if we spend too much time on each person, we're not gonna get it to like 8.
Let me get out of here.
Okay, so number 4 we got James McMillan. He's an older guy. His brother's already married. We got Natasha. She's great, and I think realistically, he's probably the next one to go. What do you think?
Also a homeowner. That's I think that's a big step in that direction. If you look at, well, I don't know about Ada, but he's in medical school, so he's doing fine. Bruno's a homeowner. Brooke's a homeowner. James recently bought a place over in Westboro, very hipster neighborhood. Seems to be the theme of the pod today. So, anyways, I think that it's definitely moving lads up to the top of the list. Got their all their ducks in a row, real estate wise.
Okay, so I got the next person on the list, and Ollie, I want you to comment on this. We got Tom Christie.
Oh boy.
See,
So Ollie, give me Tom's stats in terms of his marriage ability.
listen, Leah, one of my favorite girlfriends amongst all the big lads' girlfriends. I just want to preface by saying that.
Okay, so next week we're
I
ranking.
believe they've been together, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong here, 2+ years or so?
Almost 3.
Almost three. Okay, so if you look at the stats alone, I would say Tom is definitely a good candidate to be in your top 5. But at the same time, I feel like the Tom Christie I know is, a free spirit in the sense and is looking for maybe just to aspire to certain characteristics of the single life again. Not necessarily saying he's looking to break up at all, but I just
I would
feel
say
a long way from dropping on the knee. That's all I'm saying.
Danica's out there.
Guys underneath him, Bones, yourself included, Simon, which I would say would definitely be higher candidates than Tom. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, that's fair. And
He's coming out swinging. The kid's got an opinion.
okay, and we all know Tom wants to get his DJ career off until before he makes any kind of
Absolutely. Probably 2 tables. Gonna get him. Follow me on Twitter. I haven't.
Okay, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. We're not doing following on Twitter. Okay, next we got Jason. I put him as number 6 on the draft.
That's not bad. Him and Nikki, they go way back. She's another beaut. Looking for a new place. I think they're in the market for one together, so that's a step in the right direction. I don't know what his pube situation is though, but I think that's not bad.
Jason potentially looking for a place in Toronto, and right now our only 2 engaged lads are both living in Ottawa, right? So as a stats guy, I'm looking at the trends here. I'm seeing 100% of engaged lads are in Ottawa, so if Jason moves to Toronto, we got to move him down the list. All of a sudden, the odds are going down on Jason.
Okay, I think Ollie, you're getting a little too cute with these odds and stats.
I like it. I'm a stats man.
Okay, and also Ollie, let Tom finish his thought before you interrupt each other because I think it's getting a bit choppy.
Apologies.
Okay. No worries. I just want to let you guys know. Okay, so number 7 on the draft list, we got Eric Plaskotch. And I'll let you chew me up over this.
All right, I'll go first if you don't mind, Ollie.
Give her.
Eric and Sam have been together for a long time. Bones, why don't you just give us the stat there on the lane?
We're probably closing in 3.5 years.
Yeah, all right, so it's almost, it's getting up there. Career progressing nicely, both of you doing well. You guys lived together for how long?
2 years and a bit.
Oh boy, that's
So
a long
how does that not put you, Bones?
Yeah, I might disagree with you there. I think you should be up. I mean, Lee and I lived together for a year. I think you need to be. You and Sam moved in together like the next morning after you first banged. So like you guys have been doing it for a long time. I think you might need to put yourself up a little higher. You're being too.
Okay, so I'm gonna work a few things.
Let's be honest. As the creator of this list, we clearly had a biased number on Eric at number 7.
Yeah, the Vegas odds on you would be just fantastic. I mean, I'd be all over that. If you were not number 7, I would be all over that.
Great value on Eric. Great value.
I'm going to take a few things into account. I'm a lot younger than the rest of you fuckers. So like, I'm 26. You guys are like getting up into your late 20s. So I took that into account. I still have my 20s to live out. You guys don't.
All right, for all the listeners out there, I'm 28. He's 26. Very minor age gap. Not relevant. Irrelevant point.
26 and 28 is a big gap in the marriage game.
But you've lived with her longer than I've lived with my girlfriend.
I'm taking all that into account.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So we'll move me up the list. This is the whole point. My list is flawed. We're trying to make the list better.
I think we need to slide you into the number 5.
I think 5 would be an appropriate ranking.
5? All right, I'm in the number 5 now. Oh, Sam's giddy in the other room. Okay.
This number 8 one's going to be a real debate, let me tell you.
Okay, so number 8, let's get to that. Simon Clark Oka.
Oh boy.
This is the fun one.
This is hot. This is a hot topic. This is the dollar.
What it comes down to, though. Let me just break down this debate in essence, okay? Simon at number 8, it's either if Simon is dropping down to one knee, hell, you need to put him at least 12 or higher. But, hey, there's a very distinct possibility that Mila will propose to Simon. And if that's the case, you can make a legit argument that top 5 is where he should be.
No. Okay, so I say Simon is going to propose to Mila. She's got med school to deal with. So that's going to probably delay things. That's why I put him so low on the list. But I think their relationship is probably more progressed than a lot of people in the top 5.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you guys.
Okay.
See this one coming, and it would pay very well were we to be gambling on it. Mila's parents proposed to Simon, and we shoot him right up to number 3 immediately. Boom! Nobody sees it coming. Mila's not even involved. Simon doesn't have to do anything. They obviously pay for both their rings, wedding, honeymoon. Simon can just lie on the couch and watch fishing shows all day. Mila can go to school.
Oh my god.
Not even involved. What do we think?
Yeah. If
That's the number 3, honestly. You could move them up to number 1, because
Ahead of Bruno.
they'll be getting married before Ada, that's for sure. The marriage will be happening within the next couple of weeks.
If Mila's parents are involved, they'll be married immediately.
Okay, I'm gonna move past this because we're getting into dark waters. Okay.
Love you, Mila. Just joking.
That was the funnest one though so far. Number 9, I put Niall. So Niall has been dating.
Violator.
Yeah, so Niall has been dating Sam for quite some time. Great girl, but I'm not sure, how mature they are. They don't live together, right? Do we know?
Famously sexually adventurous couple.
Oh, let's not dive into any of that.
I see what you did there, Tom.
Yeah, he blew up Mal's spot. Okay, let's move past Mal. All right. Next,
Hey, Mal's a lock. He's right in the right spot. Moving on.
he's right in the right spot. I think that's good. Okay, number 10. I threw in James Patrick because I don't know where he would fit in this list, but he's in the group.
He's a wild card, man. Cut the brakes. Wild
Currently
card.
single or currently dating? Because hasn't Tay been dating for, what, over a year? No?
Tay and Cass have been together for a long time. Yeah, at least a year.
So if James isn't dating, you got to put Tay ahead of him.
Yeah, but James is a hopeless romantic. I don't know.
He might fall quickly for someone. Like
James's brother just got married, so I take the brother marriages into account. That's why James was ranked so high. The other James.
I do vaguely remember a story of James being very fond of back tickles through an accidental text similar to the Ben Resnick situation. So we know he's a lover and he likes to nest in with his girls. So you never know. He's definitely a wild card. He could be 15. He could be the 40-year-old bachelor, or he could be married sooner than the rest of us. So
let's be honest. 10 through 15 are probably all scruffs. So we're just ranking the worst right now.
The best of the rest, eh?
The best of the rest. Okay.
toss up from here.
So number 11 is Taylor McQuaid. Taylor's been dating Cass for a while, but I don't know how far along that relationship is. Tay, the whole I got no idea where they are, so I put them right on the cusp of like Niall and Simon. And then James, I don't know why I put him so high. I just didn't know his situation.
They're I don't want to say volatile, but Tay and Cass, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's a lot of passion there. It's either it's you know what I mean. It's up and down. It's all over the map. So I think you've got it pretty well seated. It could go either way. You never know.
Here you go.
You never know. She's a great girl. He's a great guy. Great ass. Just
Great ass.
oh man, I've had the privilege, let me tell you, of seeing that ass in the showers in the hockey dressing room, and it's.
I gotta tell you, when we went shirts off at the Avicii concert, I would rank his body slightly behind mine at number 2.
Well, it's 1A, 1B in my opinion, so we'll be here all day arguing that one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's go to number 12. Number 12 is Benjamin Resnick, and Ollie, let's get your stats on the big lad.
Ben, we had the sad story of his breakup last week on the debut of the Not So Round Table. A tragic story where he attempted to offer the girlfriend, which he'd just broken up with, dinner, and I believe it was ice cream. Yeah. Wow.
Dinner!
Really see why she turned that one down, eh?
All right, let's do a little side.
Anyway, sorry. Back to the list. Ben at number 12. Well, you've got him ahead of, potentially some lads who I believe are dating right now. Ben, still single, always hot on the Tinder game, and again, as was with Case JP, potentially a hopeless romantic. So you could see Ben falling for someone, 2 months of dating, 2 months of engagement, boom, married. So you know what? I see a little bit of value there with Ben. I see a little bit of value.
They push things.
Ben's your sleeper.
Yeah, Ben is a big time sleeper pick, in my opinion. Victim of his own accidental text game. We know he is a lover, and he does move incredibly quickly. We used to call that a swoosh. I don't know if you guys recall.
Yeah,
it was so prevalent that we nicknamed it. He moves in quick. He moves in hard. Always for the kill. He's a predator. Not always successful. His shooting percentage is.
Hey, let's not get into shooting percentage.
Well, that's fine, but he's shooting, and that's all that matters. And it's 100%.
It's all about shooting percentage. As the great Wayne Gretzky said, if you don't take any shots, you're not going to score.
Exactly.
Put that to heart.
Yeah. I'm going to quote Whitney McQuaid, who said Saturday night that Ben is incredibly charming and very, very good with the ladies, and she has more inside knowledge of this in the recent years than any of us. So
I have inside knowledge because me and Ben used to live together, and it's not the old swoosh game.
I know. He's come a long way.
A lot of improvements.
And also, sidebar, we saw Ben's ex-girlfriend at the Dog and Bear. I don't know if you remember, Eric. We had a few drinks at that point, and but she did show up. And remember that?
Yeah, I didn't see her. Ben just said she was there, and I never saw her. He's like,
I saw her from a distance. He looked furious at him. So Anyways, he maybe he didn't end things as smoothly as he led us to believe in the previous podcast because she did not look very happy with him.
Well, let's be honest. I think this was Ben's first breakup, and
No. Ben
with a
is
serious-
a 35-year-old woman. I remember.
First dumping of a girl, not his
no,
first.
with an actual girlfriend. Like he's let girls down before, but this is like the first girlfriend. She was only his girlfriend for 2 days.
He dated for like a week. What do you mean?
How hard could she take it?
This was a week.
Well, she didn't take the dinner, so it must have been pretty
Who
hard.
would take the dinner? That's insane. Nobody says, you know what, it's not you, it's me. I want to bang other people, but I want a nice steak. We'll spend 3 or 4 more hours together and just really, like, let's make this as uncomfortable and awkward as possible.
I wonder where Ben's next move was. Which restaurant was he planning to take her to?
It would have had to been fast food. You want to get that over with fast.
The McDonald's. Post breakup McD's.
Get a quick slice of pizza and go.
Okay. All right. So next on the list, let's keep going. I'm gonna switch it right now. I'm gonna put Steve Street there.
Oh,
Steve Street has recently, I didn't even know this until you guys told me, but he moved in with his girlfriend. So realistically, he should be a lot higher on this list.
sorry guys. Yeah, I'm going to take the lead on this one if you don't mind. Steve's girlfriend, Ashley, great girl. I don't know if you guys know her that well. She's
I don't know her at all.
relatively new to the scene, but they've been together for quite some time. They met through Steve's older sister. Steve recently moved in with her, beautiful place, not too far from me. And I'll tell you what, they should at least be higher than the people who are single currently. And you know, I have a good feeling about it. So I would bump them up, probably up above Tay.
Really?
Up, yeah, right around the 5 to 7 or 8 range, I would say for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch James Patrick down, move Steve up, and then I'll put James in 14 and Steve in 10.
Yeah, get James Patrick down with the swinging dick wild bachelors, because we know he's a wild man. He's out there every night with the young girls, getting into it, Tindering probably like crazy. He's got to go up. Also, Ashley's a little bit older than Steve, so that always puts a bit of pressure on to go back to your age point. So
That's a good point. Okay, and number 14, we got Jeff Matthews. I have no idea what Jeff's situation is.
Jesus Christ, does anybody? The guy pops into town. You hear about it 4 minutes before he lands, and then he leaves. He's like, I'm in town for 3.5 hours. Do you want to play some basketball? I'm flying back to Vancouver in 45 minutes. So, like, I don't know. Who knows that guy? He's a nomad.
Ollie, you know him as a common sailor friend. What is
Sailor boy.
First of all, I just want to call Jeff out for the time where he screwed me over in that race.
Not this again.
You know what you did, Jeff. You know what you did, and you were in the wrong, okay?
sailing?
Yeah.
So lame, I can't even imagine.
But listen, I've seen Jeff wheel, and Jeff has as much game as any of these single bachelors at the bottom of the list. So we're not sure what his situation is. Therefore, I think we get good value here at number 13 or 14.
Yeah, he's 14.
Who knows? He might be in a long-term relationship right now.
Okay.
Maybe with the guy because he sails.
Okay. The nautical dating scene is actually pretty good. Okay. So number 15, we have, and this is the final spot, Ollie Macklem. Yours truly on
What?
the podcast.
Holy,
Hold on. So wait,
Dean,
you're telling me the
I
guy-
can't believe you didn't even realize you were going to be the last on the list.
You guys are telling me the guy who's sitting here, single, drunk, high, is number 15 out of 15 on your
Just
list?
got a new job, bro.
How dare you?
Things up a little.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the...
I'm honored to be coming in here at 15 on the list, holding it down for all the single lads, representing the single life right now at number 15.
Oh, I love it. I wanted to ask Ollie, when you sent in your demo tape for your new job, we got cut off with your connection. You sent a demo tape for your new job. Obviously, you were reading over a highlight package when you sent the demo in.
Yeah.
So when you gave him a couple cooler than the other side of the pillow and boom, a bunch of those, did you?
That's a Stuart Scott
Yeah,
Scott right there,
Scott.
classic. No, I should drop that in though. Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Stewie, I know you're listening, buddy. I heard you're not feeling well. I hope you feel better. So get well soon from the Big Lads podcast.
Wait. Oh yeah, Stu. Shout out.
Absolutely. We're praying for you, brother.
Okay.
Booyah.
So I like Ollie at the bottom of the list.
I love him down there in the basement. Just anything goes. He's like Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Just fucking drinking wine out of a can, partying all the time, loving it.
Okay, Tom, we have to keep this moving along. So Ollie's great at the bottom of the list. I like him there. He invites random girls to my house and they trash my place. They invite dudes to my house that trash my place. So him, I don't see as like a good marriage prospect right now. But down the line, we'll see what happens.
Is that your subtle way of telling me I'm not invited back, Bones?
You're invited back, but you don't get any plus one.
No friends. Okay. No plus one. No plus ones allowed.
Plus ones, you lost your plus one privilege.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, so let's get. Okay, that was a lot of fun. That was like an hour of like just like big lad stuff. So let's get to the world around us. Okay, so we got the first story is Johnny Manziel's dick pic. So Johnny Manziel has been reportedly received a $25 million lawsuit for sending a dick pic to a CNN contributor, Samantha Scatcher. The picture is reportedly of Johnny's genitalia in a hot dog bun. So some of the main highlights of the motion are, these are some quotes. Manziel told me if I don't want him because his penis is small, when he gets drafted by the NFL, he will get a penis enlargement and he'll be Long John Silver's. Another quote was, Johnny Manziel refers to his penis as Vienna sausage and told me good things come from small packages. The last and my favorite quote was, Manziel sent me a homemade video of himself at Walt Disney World on It's a Small World ride in the Magic Kingdom, and while the song is on, he put the camera down and unbuttoned his pants, pulled his penis out, and jiggled his penis to the music. Okay, so this is a lot to take in. Samantha has reportedly denied filing this claim and claims it was done by Jonathan Lee Riches. Do we need to spend any time on this? This is obviously a fake story.
All right. Clearly it's a hoax, but I have to say, and I'm just saying this as a guy who loves dick pics and dives into every dick pic story with vigor, where there's smoke, there's fire, and I'm not putting it past this beauty who we all love, Johnny Football, whipping out his dick at Walt Disney World to send a pic to this girl. That may have happened. Or
I
to a girl.
I sincerely doubt it.
Anyways, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I love him. I don't want him to get sued.
Well, the whole thing is about how he claims his dick is small. He's like bragging about it. It's so ridiculous.
Trust me, one thing I can guarantee you is that guy is not hurting for getting laid. He is getting it whenever he wants it. Dick size be damned. That guy is a pimp. He can get laid whenever he wants. So I don't think he's worried about it. If anybody has the confidence to blast out their dick on social media and say that it's small, I would say it would be him.
Okay, all right.
Wait, do we all, before we move on, let's round table this. Do we all think 100% hoax?
Yeah, 100% hoax.
Yeah. No one's letting out a story about them talking about how small their dick is. Like, if it was, just your standard dick pic story, then yeah, I'd give it some credit. But no.
Okay.
This doesn't have Johnny Football written on it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say, so yeah, that is a little strange, but I am going to say 60% truth, 40% hoax, induced bullshit. So some of that is true.
60%
true. Pardon?
What's the 60% true?
There were dick pics, and there were jokes, and there was a hot dog bun, and his dong was inside of it, and I'm sure of that.
You just want that to be true. You just are afraid that that's true.
That's probably true. I definitely want it to be true.
Okay, let's pass this. This is so silly. Okay, so NBA basketball. Let's go to that because that's actually pretty interesting. Do you guys want to do the draft, or you want to do the series first?
Let's do the series.
Yeah, let's do the series. Okay, so NBA basketball series. We got Heat versus Pacers. The Heat are up 2-1. the Pacers had a really good showing game one. I thought it was probably the best game in the series where like the top 5 guys all played amazing basketball together. The Heat, however, have done a good job adjusting their defenses to Indiana, and now they have LeBron James guarding George Hill, and they have
Off the ball. Smart.
Ray Allen guarding Paul George, kind of in like the important sets. Let's start with Ollie and then Tom. So the Heat have held Indiana to 28% on the three-pointers in the last game. Where is this series going? Ollie, what do you think? What do you think will happen in the next?
I think Indiana is going to respond in Game 4. They've played well on the road all throughout the postseason. They've responded well after losing games. This is the first time they've lost 2 straight games in the postseason. So I can see them bouncing back Game 4, making it 2-2, and then they have home court in a best-of-3. So I don't know, Game 7, if they have what it takes to beat LeBron James, and obviously Ray Allen's found his stroke, which is huge for Miami in a Game 7 situation. But at the same time, yeah, I wouldn't count them out at all.
Okay, Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you see it in the other series too with the Spurs. Man, so much. These games are tight. So much of it comes down to three-point shooting. I know Danny Green's absolutely on fire in the other series, and that's swung a game. Ray's swung at least 2 of these games, putting up 16 a night right now. Barely did anything all season, and all of a sudden he's absolutely on fire. The other thing with the Pacers is that when it gets down to the wire late in the fourth quarter, we all know it devolves into one-on-one basketball and ISO sets. And unfortunately, Miami just has the better matchup almost across the board. Pacers aren't hitting threes and can't pull away and get some cushion for late in the game. I just don't think. I mean, they have to play a great game and hit some shots to beat the Heat. Otherwise, I'm afraid that Miami is going to walk back to the finals.
So I'm gonna take. I think the Pacers can recover if they do 2 things. David West has really been, when he's been the leader on the court, they played amazing, and I consider him a better basketball player than Chris Bosh.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And I think George Hill, he's been playing really timid with LeBron James on him. I think if he goes at him and tries to, be aggressive in the series. We've seen him in the late game, like, hit threes to kind of bring it close, and he hasn't been taking them all game. I think if he plays aggressive and Paul George plays aggressive, they can turn around. I think if they play timid, they're going to get their asses kicked.
So much of these dribble drive offenses are predicated on those point guards getting into the key. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it with, I'm going to go back with Tony Parker as a great example. Gets in there and then disrupts everything and get your team open looks from outside and frees up your bigs on the block. So yeah, absolutely, if George Hill can get in the key, then and the Pacers, I have a stat here. The Pacers have led for 99 of 144 minutes of play. That's 74% of the time. So they're winning the game more than the Heat are, but the Heat just light it up in the fourth quarter, and the Pacers can't keep up, especially with Ray hitting shots from the outside.
And guys, one thing that turned in that Game 3 in the Heat-Pacers series was Indiana tried to go big, and Miami countered with a small lineup, and you ended up with this matchup with David West chasing Ray Allen around screens, which got Ray Allen going, essentially.
Recipe for disaster. Also, Chris Bosh, sorry, I'll let you go after 1 sec here. Chris Bosh, this is a stat that I heard not too long ago that surprised me, is the #1 ranked jump shooter, mid-range jump shooter in the NBA. He has the highest shooting percentage from the mid-range in the entire NBA. So you can't, if you have a big like West who's trying to protect the rim, or anyone trying to protect the rim who gets matched up on Bosh, whether they're guarding them from the outset or they get switched onto them on a pick and roll, you leave Bosh out there in that short corner, he knocks that shot down like 70% of the time. It's crazy. So that stretches the defense and gives Wade and LeBron tons of room to get. Even Chalmers, guys like that are getting to the hoop no problem. And Bosh is a huge part of that. So. Sorry, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that I think, the key for Indiana now is going to be trying to go as big as possible. And obviously that's never easy when LeBron James can guard a guy like David West, but he doesn't like doing that. So I think they need to try and get Hibbert and West on the floor together as much as possible. And if it comes down to them playing a small lineup against Miami, I think a better matchup for David West would be against Wade as opposed to chasing Ray Allen all over the court.
Wade, even in his late, like the twilight of his career, he's too quick for West. They need to keep West on the floor. He can't be chasing wing guys around. That's great.
So
they got to try and force Miami to go big, because when Miami has to bring Haslam or Battier on the floor, that's when Indiana can really exploit them. But if Miami's able to play Bosch at the 5, LeBron at the 4, West, Allen, and Chalmers, they can't. Indiana has a hard time stopping that lineup, so they have to beat them up on the offensive end.
Yeah. Okay, so let's round table this. Ollie, then Tom, then me. Who do you think is going to win the series?
I'm going to stick with my prediction of Indiana. Indiana in 7.
Okay.
I think the Pacers might steal one more if they get hot, but I think it's Miami's, fortunately. I would love to see Indiana win, but I think it's Miami.
If I was a betting man, I'd say Miami, but I'm not, so I'm going to say Indiana. I think I'm hopeful that they win, and I think they can win, but I think the odds are stacked in Miami's favor.
I'm telling you, if Lance Stevenson heats up and gets under LeBron's skin, and you never know. Like that's why I love basketball, man. You never know.
Yeah, the thing is, when he heated up in Game 2, no one else did, and yeah, he couldn't do anything. Okay. So let's talk about Spurs OKC. So Spurs are up 2. The game's going on right now. It's 57-53 at the half. I think pretty much the story is, the Spurs is so fundamentally just a good basketball team through all 5 spots. They're not playing the typical NBA formula where they have 2 guys that can score. Anyone can hurt you on that team. Kawhi Leonard is killing it. Green is getting off the hook. Parker, Ginobili, everyone's kind of filling the role and doing it really well. Is there anything OKC can do to kind of get the series back in their favor? Let's go, Tom, then Ollie.
Well, they need Ibaka big time, and I don't know how effective he'll be. Well,
He's playing tonight. He's actually playing well.
Yeah, I'm trying to pay attention. I've got it on here in the background. He's a couple blocks, but and I just saw a highlight of a bucket, so obviously he's functional. So obviously they can protect the rim a little bit and keep Manu from getting in there. That's a huge win for them. I'll drink for this. Big shout out to my boy Danny Green, who I've been following since his North Carolina days when he was the 6th man. He used to dance to the jump around song before the tip off. He was 7 for 10 from 3 last game. That is
that's a drink. You just said.
Lights. I know. I said I will drink for it. I'm happy to do it. My drink is empty, but
good.
I'll do a symbolic one.
Yeah, Ollie, you drink every time you interrupt someone.
That's correct.
To be honest with you, though, Eric, I think you hit the nail on the head there, and you said much of it. But Parker, Manu, Duncan are now the winningest trio in NBA playoff history. They just passed Magic, Kareem, and Cooper.
No, they're still behind. They're behind someone, aren't they?
I pulled these stats.
They're behind Larry Bird, Mikhail, and Parrish.
And Parrish. Okay, yeah. Well, that's maybe it was second winningest. Oh, maybe they just passed them on the list.
They passed the 3rd, and now they're 2nd. And then I think the leaders Larry Bird have 540, and then around 492.
Either way, that's an amazing stat in today's day and age, especially like in modern basketball. You don't see guys staying healthy for as long as they used to, and it was less impactful of a game back in the old days. But it's just an unbelievable stat that they managed to do it this well for this long, and it's no accident. And Pop's obviously done a great job resting them. They look great. They look like they're 25 again. Duncan's playing 30 minutes for double-double, like no problem, They never cease to amaze me, and OKC's too scattered. Too much bad coaching. They're terrible late in the game. Everything just devolves. We talk about it all the time, how bad we think Scott Brooks is as a coach. Their sets late in the game. It makes no sense. And Westbrook's taken 10 more shots in the series than Durant. That's the league MVP, the best pure scorer possibly in NBA history, certainly of this generation, has taken not even the most shots on his own team, let alone. Makes no sense.
Yeah, interesting series just because the Thunder beat the Spurs 4 straight times in the regular season, and it's rare that you see a team get swept in the regular season and it really not mean anything, but I think that's the case here. I think even with Serge Ibaka, San Antonio, they're just too efficient on both ends of the floor. And this team's on a mission, let's be honest. After losing Game 6 of the finals last year on a desperation 3 by Ray Allen, this team is on a mission. And I don't think they're going to be stopped. They're my pick to win it all, to be honest.
Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, I'm getting like breaking news from your girlfriend. She just listed. So originally with the Big Lads Married game, I wanted to get the girlfriend's opinion on everything.
Oh my God.
And Leah ranked everyone, but she refused to put you and her in the ranking.
Oh, all right. There we go. That's my girl. Our social media presence is very well controlled. Public relations.
I think she was going to rank you #1, and she didn't want to do it.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Ollie, we gotta get you and her on the pod to battle this out. Find them eyes.
And Ben keeps texting me, "Can I jump in?" Okay, now. So let's roundtable this. I like where this. I think that was pretty well put together. OKC or San Antonio? Tom Denali, what do you think?
San Antonio. I think the Spurs in 5 at most.
I hate to jump on Ollie's coattails. Beautiful coattails though they are. I have San Antonio winning it all, or at least giving the Heat a ton of trouble in the finals. I just don't think the Thunder can put a good enough game plan together late in the games to even have a prayer. So they did come back and beat them 4 straight a couple years ago. Am I wrong there? They were down 2-0 2 years ago, weren't they?
I don't know.
The Thunder were down 2-0 and won 4 straight.
Yeah, the Thunder have done this before. So, I mean, we may not want to count them out completely, but I'm all in on the Spurs. I want to see some redemption for last year and can't stand LeBron and those guys. So, yeah, Spurs.
It's funny how I used to hate the Spurs, and I hated their style of basketball, but they become maybe my favorite team, behind the Raptors now in the NBA.
Well, Eric and I, speaking, I'm sure we played together when we were young kids. We've had some great coaches. I have a ton of respect for how they play the game, and I love watching them play. I get a huge kick out of that, and I know it's not. I feel like the less intelligent basketball fan, the Simon Clark-Okas of the world per se, just want to see dunks and this and that. They don't really understand what's happening. But for me and Eric, who knows much more than I do for sure about system basketball, I find it very, very fun to watch. So, anyways, yeah.
I used to hate the Spurs, but now I really appreciate them because they have old man game, and that's what I have now.
Yeah, we're all old men, so we empathize with those boys.
And I would say the Spurs are going to win it in 6.
Oh, Spurs is 6. I like that. Okay, go Spurs.
Go Spurs. I saw a nice Spurs hat today. Okay, I'm getting off topic. All right, NBA draft lottery. So, pretty huge news. Cleveland Cavaliers get the 3rd #1 overall pick in 4 years.
What is this, man? This lottery thing is such a load of shit.
Okay, so I did some research, and I have their chance to get the 1st overall pick in each of the years. So in 2014, it was 1.7%, which is the worst it's ever been. In 2013, it was 15.6%, and in 2011, it was 19.9%, which means that they had a 0.05% chance of this actually happening, which is 1 out of 2,000.
What was the LeBron year?
Oh, that was long. That was 2000.
So they've had
how many? 2006, 2005.
Jeez, this is insane. We're just going to keep giving them draft picks, and people are going to keep leaving because that city blows. All our Cleveland fans, I'm sorry. We do have a good time when we're down in the Cleve, but for some reason, I think it's an ownership problem. It's tough to keep guys there. And do we think Kyrie's going to stay?
You know what? I think this draft, it almost doesn't matter because the top 5 guys, depends who they are, but they're almost interchangeable on each team.
And let's be honest, if there was a conspiracy, they wouldn't be giving the 1st overall pick to Cleveland, one of the tiniest markets that no one cares about and everyone hates.
I don't.
It's a wasteland.
I'm not screaming conspiracy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not into that. You know what I mean? If it was a conspiracy, right? I probably would have gone to LA or one of the bigger market teams. But it seems a little. a little statistically strange that they've ended up with so many number one picks in the last decade. Anyways, that's just my opinion.
Okay. Okay, so let's go through the. I want to do a bit of a mock draft here, and there's a few guys I want to talk about. So everyone's saying Joel Embiid is probably going to be the first overall draft pick.
Build that workout.
And but I think he's kind of overrated.
Oh no, Joel
Yeah.
Embiid is an absolute freak. He's 7'1", I think, with a bigger wingspan, but his footwork's unbelievable. He's a freak athlete. He dunks it from, gets his head up near the rim when he dunks it. The only concern with him really is he has back issues. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
that's definitely a big red flag.
With a big guy his size with back issues, like, that's a big risk to take. And I find he's kind of like a Chris Bosh kind of type player, but he doesn't have as good as a jump shot.
Can he shoot? Like,
No, he's a shot blocker, Bones. Chris Bosh was never a shot blocker. Joel Embiid's like a true 5 who can defend the paint.
I wrote down he's Chris Bosh meets Anthony Davis. But
You know who Chris Bosh is?
He's bigger than both those guys, though.
You guys remember in high school girls basketball? Remember we used to have some girls basketball teams play once in a while, and there always was like kind of like awkwardly proportioned, slightly pear-shaped girl who was just like automatic with the elbow set shot.
this is
Off from the hip.
area you're going to.
He's not doing anything athletic on defense. He's not he's not going to the rim. He throws down a light left-handed throwdown that he just kind of barely gets over, and he does this massive after, because that's a big deal to him. That's who he is. He's just a role player. He's great at what he does, but he's not. Embiid's going to go in there if he stays healthy. Now he could have another Greg Oden situation, but
I think he's Greg Oden. I've seen him in the draft workout. He didn't look like too physical. He's not a really physical guy.
He wasn't a toddler though. Like, he was being carried like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Embiid? Embiid's not a real physical guy?
I wouldn't think so.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. He's not going to get you like 12 rebounds a game like Dwight Howard necessarily, but he might block 3 shots a game, and his footwork on offense, honestly, people compare it to Olajuwon. So I would think he's definitely the top prospect just based on the fact that you don't see guys like that come through more than once a decade.
does he have a hook shot though?
Oh, yeah, he's got a hook shot. And he's got nice threes, too, like, already.
Let's go to this is my favorite. This is what I think is going to be should be the first overall pick.
Jabari
Parker. I think he's Carmelo meets LeBron. He's got Carmelo's game, but LeBron's size.
What?
Some lofty comparisons.
What?
What? Why not? What's wrong with that one?
He can't shoot like Carmelo, so take that back right now. He can't shoot like LeBron. I mean, LeBron's developed an excellent perimeter.
He's got a shot.
I don't know, man. He's an athletic slasher. He's got an okay jump shot, but nothing like Carmelo. Carmelo is a pure shooter. Like, Carmelo is one of the best pure shooters in the NBA. You can't compare the two. And LeBron's a great shooter, too. Like, those are two very high percentage perimeter shooters. Jabari may get there someday, but he's raw. He goes to Duke, and I hate people who go to Duke. He's a piece of shit, as every Duke player is. So let's just give him. I think he's drafted too high. He'll spin his wheels for a little while. He might end up on another team where he'll find some success as like a role player.
I disagree. I think he's going to be the most successful person out of this draft.
Wow.
I'm calling it right now.
I think he's the most NBA-ready player right now in this draft. And, Tom, you're not going to like this comparison if you don't like Jabari, but a lot of his stuff reminds me of Paul Pierce. He's one of those guys that like uses good footwork and his body to get off mid-range jump shots. And he's a pretty good mid-range shooter, and he can get to the rim and finish at the rim because he's pretty strong. So,
hands down, the most creative scorer in one-on-one scorer in NBA history is Paul Pierce. So we can just nobody is more creative than him at using his body and getting off amazing shots, bad angles. Cash. Okay.
Jabari's got that too. Jabari can create for his teammates a lot more than.
Okay, guys, let's keep this moving.
All right, move on. Okay, we'll see. We'll take
Hour
over
here,
there.
we
We'll
got a
come
lot
back in 10 years, and we'll see where he's at.
Okay, next is Andrew Wiggins. What do we think? Top 3? Definitely.
I mean, I think he will go top 3, but I don't know if he deserves to go top 3 necessarily. There's a lot of guys below him that I like more, and I just don't see the ball skills. Talk about the ball skills with guys like Embiid and Parker. I don't see the same ball skills with Wiggins. Sure, he's a freak athlete. He can jump out of the gym and get you 10 rebounds a game, but not only did I not see the ball skills, but I didn't see the killer instinct they talk about either in college. He didn't want the ball down the stretch. He didn't pile up big numbers.
Let him finish.
Pile up big numbers, even rebounding-wise, right? Like, a guy like Kevin Durant came through as a freshman. How skinny was Kevin Durant as a freshman at Texas, right? Probably weighed $160. He still averaged 10 rebounds a game. Andrew Wiggins averaged 5 rebounds a game. Like, what's wrong with this guy's motor, you know?
Tom, what do you think?
Well, I mean, local boys, so I'm rooting for him, but I'm gonna have to agree with Ollie there. And all those stats are poignant, but what I'm going to point to is his play in big games and just the way he handled the media after that just pathetic performance in the tournament. He sat there slumped against the wall, looking like he should have been going to Duke, crying, being like, "Oh, like, I'm too good for this anyways." He'd already moved past college. He'd already written off college, and he was already going to the pros. You could tell he didn't care, and he told some bullshit line about how much he loved his teammates, and he even said in a press conference, I think this is correct, I think he said, trust me, if I could do it all again, I would. And then some reporter in the crowd was like, you can, you have 3 more years of eligibility. Like, he's so full of shit. He's being coached on everything that he's saying, and even though he's still coming off as fake and phony. I'm just not a fan of his personality. I don't think he has the killer instinct to be a big success in the pros, personally.
Okay, so I'm going to go kind of in the middle. I think he reminds me both kind of skill-wise and player demeanor as like Paul George meets Kawhi Leonard. They're really skilled guys, but they're very not assuming in their personality. Yeah. I'm not sure if he'll be a good pro. I think physically he's got the skill sets. Okay, next.
Wait, one more comparison for you quickly. You want to talk about a former number 2 overall pick that someone brought up to me recently as a good comparison for Andrew Wiggins? Marvin Williams, okay? Freak athlete out of North Carolina, 6'9" or so, you know? But what kind of NBA career did he have?
Okay, that's the haterade talking. Okay. I think that's pretty good for the draft picks. We went through the main ones. Let's actually talk on Dante Exum, because this is a guy that from Australia, don't know too much about him. I watched some highlights of him. I wasn't too impressed. I thought he was kind of like Devin Harris. They're predicting he goes kind of top 5. I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
Well, he's a point guard. He's a point guard. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He's a long, lanky point guard. He's 6'6".
Yeah, and I don't know. I did a little bit of reading on this before, but someone compared him to Michael Jordan. I tried to find the footage, but it was grainy, and I couldn't really see. I don't know. You never know. Guys coming from leagues overseas, it's hard to tell. Even guys coming from the AAU now, it's impossible to tell. The draft is such a roll of the dice, and that's why I find that you should put a little more stock in personality, and this goes back to the Wiggins thing again. Then you put in athletic ability and size and weight. Because a guy like Wiggins, I just think, is going to have a lot of pressure on him to score, especially if he goes 1, 2, or 3 overall. And I think he's going to fold with all those expectations. He couldn't even handle the expectations of playing an average game in the NCAA tournament. What's going to happen when he's being paid millions of dollars to get a couple of shots off at least? I don't know. It's hard to tell. You never know. But he seems to have the pedigree of a good European player. He can probably shoot. He can probably dribble. So you never know. I'm excited to see him, but is he a 4th or 5th overall pick? That's who knows. I'm nervous.
Okay, I saw one game from Dante Exum last year. They made me clip the Under-19 World Championship. So I saw Australia play USA. Honestly, love his game, and I would put him ahead of a guy like Andrew Wiggins because he has ball skills. He's 6'6", but he's a great creator. He could play the 1 or the 2. He can score in all kinds of different ways. He's got floaters. He's got mid-range. And not a great athlete by any stretch, but I'll take a guy with ball skills over a freak athlete in the draft.
Let me put it this way. Who would you rather have right now? Andre Iguodala or Dirk Nowitzki?
Dirk Nowitzki, for sure.
Iguodala, for sure, better athlete. Coming out of college, they would have been like, oh, yeah, this guy can fly out of the gym. He's great, and he was a very good NBA player. But, I mean, Dirk wasn't the greatest athlete, but Dirk had amazing ball skills. He could shoot. He was a well-rounded player, and he had a good attitude. And he was, you know what I mean? And I think that personality and attitude have play a huge part in player success.
Okay, the fact that we're comparing Dante Exum to Dirk Nowitzki, who's like a 7-foot, like, power forward 3-point shooter.
No, the ball skills.
So let's move on. We're going to an hour and a half here, so let's keep going. Okay, I got a fun game for us. You two are going to be competing against each other, and then we're going to wrap it up, okay?
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, so this is the Janica game. And I don't care. Everyone told me I shouldn't do it. I've done it last week. I'm throwing that wisdom away. And so what I did, I looked at Janica's Facebook account, and there are 4 Facebook groups that she's an actual member of. And I created 4 fake groups that she's not a member of. So the point of the game is for you to figure out which one is the real one and which one is the fake one.
Okay, sounds awesome.
Okay, so round 1. The Ontario Show Ponies for Sale or Lease Facebook group,
Show ponies.
or the DeLowry Nissan Facebook group. Which one is she really a member of? Tom, then Ollie.
Wow, she's got ties to our homegrown car dealership magnate, Sagar Delari, but she loves horses. We know that. Oh boy, I'm gonna go with the show. No, it's Show Ponies for Lease. Let's do it. I'm gonna roll the dice.
Okay, Ollie, what do you think?
Definitely Delowry. Show ponies? No way.
Okay, and Tom is up 1-0.
What?
Danica is a proud member of the Ontario Show Ponies for Sale or Lease Club. Okay, round 2. Okay, so we have, first of all, the Canadian Sport Martial Arts Academy Facebook group, or the Diana Sauce of Canada Facebook group.
Ooh, Diana
Like the
sauce.
sauce that you
Delicious
bought?
sauce.
Okay, wait. So Ollie, you're first, then Tom.
Okay, shout out to Diana Sauce, first of all. Love the stuff. Diana, if you're listening, you can send me a free case anytime.
Send us a case.
I can't see Janica, when she's trying to lose weight, becoming a part of any sort of sauce that has the number of calories that Diana Sauce carries. So, sorry, what was the other option?
Canadian Sports Martial Arts Academy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I could see her getting into martial arts as part of her weight loss scheme. Yeah, sign me up for that.
Okay, Tom?
I don't know what's wrong with you, Ollie. You would lose a lot of money because I know Janica and she is in the Diana Sauce group, so that's my final answer.
Okay, and Ollie is the correct. Ollie, Janica is into the Canadian Sports Martial Arts Academy. That is one of the 4 Facebook groups that she likes.
You baited me. That's good hosting. You knew I would bite on the food one. That's good hosting. Good job.
Okay. Round 3. Okay, first of all, we have the OC Transpo Facebook group, or the Winbrook Farms Facebook group. This is a tough one. Okay, let's go Tom and then Ollie.
This is real deal. No humor in this one, eh? Either she takes the bus and likes to keep track of the bus schedules, or she does something at a farm. We know she's into equestrians and equestrians. All right, let's go with the Winbrook Farms. Final answer.
All right, and Ollie, what's your choice?
You know what? I really do believe it is the Winbrook Farms, too. Anything with farms, horses, Janica now, if she can do show ponies, she's got to be a part of some random farm, too.
Okay. You are both correct. The Winbrook Priory Farms it appears to be an equestrian riding club.
Asterisk. It sounds like Ollie has some sort of behind-the-scenes relationship with Janica here. He seems to know a lot of little things
Okay,
about
good.
her.
All right, Tom, we gotta get through this. Okay, so go.
Straight psychology. Straight psychology.
Round 4. First of all, we have the St. Louis Bar and Grill, or Janica's 22nd birthday, smiley face, exclamation point. Which one is the real Facebook group that she's a part of?
Oh boy.
Let's go Ollie, then Tom.
I can't believe that Janica is so conceited that she would have a group for her 22nd birthday. I'm just gonna take a chance that maybe her boyfriend is, a busboy or a custodian at St. Louis, and I'm gonna go with St. Louis.
And Tom, what's your answer?
I'm going to give him the same answer, but mine is because our good friend Mike O'Brien, friend of the show, recently opened to St. Louis, so I'm assuming he sent out a big Facebook, invited her to like that page or start a group or something, so I'm going to go with St. Louis. I think that's the answer.
Okay, you're both wrong. She
God.
started.
Oh.
And just a side note, she did give 5 stars on a review of St. Louis Bar and Grill.
Okay, that's good. Good way to wrap it.
You're both in the right area.
All right.
Okay, so this was a fun podcast. I think we're well over an hour. We're around an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so thanks to you guys for coming on. This was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Absolute honor and a pleasure to be on episode number 2.
Yeah, this is groundbreaking episode. We covered some really good stuff.
Thank you, Bones, for hosting and for putting together the rundown.
Oh, no, my pleasure.
Much appreciated. Some great work. Guys, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, just for some closing remarks, is there anything going on this weekend? Shout out to Samantha Katz, my girlfriend, is celebrating her birthday.
I love the Sam Katz.
Big shout out.
Just an extraordinaire.
Yeah, she's turning 28 this weekend, so it's fantastic.
Great age. Welcome aboard, Sam. It's a fun year.
She's joining you guys in the 28-year-olds group. And then also, what's going on for Canada Day? I was thinking about coming back to Ottawa, but it sounds like people are working. So I wanted to know, Tom, where are you at?
There is a Data Life concert downtown. I will be working during the day, but I should be off for the night. So plan is, as of now, to head to Data Life on Canada Day, right downtown in Ottawa's Byward Market. So very similar to our trip to Tiesto last year. It'll be in the same place.
You're not working that weekend?
I'll be working, but I'll be done probably around dinner time. So I'll keep you posted as the day arrives. Okay, buddy?
All right. I think I might be around that weekend just hanging out with my parents, but I wouldn't mind going out one of those nights.
All right. Well, we'll make something happen. I promise.
All right. Sounds good. And then Ollie, you're invited to Sam's birthday party this weekend. We're gonna put something together.
No +1 though.
No, it's not anybody. No one's allowed to come.
It's a stretch that you're coming, so just be glad that you're invited.
Thankful.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.
All right,
Talk to
guys.
you all next week.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
Peace.